Welcome back, fourth graders. This is lesson 3.3. Today we will investigate area models and partial products, and we will answer the essential question, how can you use area models and partial products to multiply two-digit numbers? So let's talk a little bit about why we're going to do this. First thing we want to answer is, why are we going to model? What's the point of modeling with diagrams? Well, first of all, drawing diagrams is a valuable tool to help us organize information. That's important. The second reason is that diagrams help us visualize the relationship of information. And finally, diagrams allow us to develop a mental image that can be used in testing situations, and this will allow us a lot of flexibility in terms of what it is that we're doing. So let's get started. The first thing we'll need is some colored pencils, and we'll need some grid paper when you get into the actual activity. I'm going to model this for you. So the question is, how can you use a model to break apart factors and make them easier to apply? Now keep in mind, we're going to be talking about two-digit times two-digit multiplication situations here. So A, it says, outline a rectangle on a grid to model 13 times 18. We're going to break apart the model into smaller rectangles to show factors, which are broken into tens and ones. We're going to label and shade the smaller rectangles, and we're going to use the colors that are listed below. So the first thing we want to do is say, up until this point, we've always broken apart the larger of the two factors. Today, we're going to take a look at 13. We're going to break apart 13 times 18 equals, so if I break 13 apart into its expanded form, I would have 10 plus 3 times, and 18 broken apart into its expanded form would be 10 plus 8 equals. All right, keep this in mind as we move on through the steps that we're going to take. All right, let's take a look. We're going to find the product of each smaller rectangle, then we're going to find the sum of the partial products, and we're going to record our answer. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the 10 times 10. So I'm going to place a 10 here and a 10 here, and this entire rectangle is 10 by 10, and this is my blue area. Then I'm going to look at 10 times 8. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this is now 10 times 8, which is my green area. Then I'm going to look at 3 times 10. One, two, three, and I'm going to draw a line across here. And this will be my yellow area. And I will do 3 times 8, which is exactly what I've done here, which is kind of that pink color. Now let's take a look. I know that 10 times 10 equals 100, so I've placed 100 down here. I know that 10 times 8 equals what? You're right, 80, so I'm placing 80 down here. I know that 3 times 10, and I'm looking up here at the top number over the grid, and I'm also looking at the side number, which is 3. 3 times 10 equals 30, so I have 30 small squares in that yellow area. And I know that 3 times 8 in the pink area is 24. Good job, stay with me. Now, when I add all of those up, you're right, 234. I want you to look at the model. Let's see if we can color it a little bit. If I were to go back and count all of those little small squares within each one of these smaller rectangles on my grid paper, I would find that I would have 100 blue squares, 80 green squares, 30 yellow squares and 24 pink squares. All in total, I would have 234 squares. All right, let's move on to our next model. We're going to go ahead and draw that model one more time. This time we're going to break apart the model to show the factors different from those the first time. We're going to label and shade the 4 smaller rectangles on our grid paper, and we're going to find their products. Then we'll record the sum of the partial products to represent the product of the whole model taken together. So let's get started. How else can we do this? Let's take a look. Now remember, our original problem was 13 times 18. So what I can do is I can break 13 times 18 into 9 plus 4 times 9 plus 9, because 9 plus 4 is 13 and 9 plus 9 is 18. So I would end up having a number sentence which would be placed on our grid. So let's take a look at our grid and we'll show you. Then we will come back and we will answer our equation here. All right, here's my grid paper. Now this time I'm going to take the 9 plus the 9 and I'm going to place this on top because I know 9 plus 9, or I'm sorry, 9 times 9 is 81. 9 plus 9 equals 18. I'm going to place my 9 times 4, or 9 plus 4, because that's 9 plus 4 is 13. So these two together are 13, and these two together equal 18. And my problem, of course, is 13 times 18. So let's get together and start using our colors. So 9 plus 9, 9 times 9, I've cordoned that off in the blue area. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 9 times 9 again. And that's going to be in my green area. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oops, it's not coming out. Let's get a nice green here. 9 times 9. This is my green area. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times 9. Let's go on and go ahead and figure out our, I guess that was kind of an orange color. I'm not really sure. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 times 9. 1, 2, oops, I'm doing that wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Here's my orange area. Horrible color. Oh my goodness, can't see that. And last I have my pink. So the pink area would be 4 times 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is my pink area. I guess I thought this was yellow over here. All right, so let's take a look. Here's my second model. So this is a possible model and partial products that I can use. So let's go back and fill in our equation. Based on what we just drew, we know that 9 times 1 is 81. Plus 9 times 1 in the green was 81. So I've taken care of my blue and my green area. I know that 4 times 9 in the yellow or the orange area is 36. Whoops. And I know that my final area, which is the kind of pink color, is 4 times 9, which is 36. And when I add all of these together, I know that 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 1 is 13, plus 1 is 14. Put down the 1, carry the 3 in my head. 8 plus 8 is 16, plus 3 is 19, plus 3 is 22, plus 1 is 23. 234. So you can see, boys and girls, that the way I break apart my 2-digit times 2-digit factors, there are many different options for us. Let's take a look. We'd like to draw some conclusions. So the first question I have for you is, can you explain how you found the total number of squares in the whole model? Let's think about that for a minute. All right, good job. Let's see if we can write an answer then. One possible answer is this. I broke apart my model into 4 smaller parts. Those are the 4 grids that we saw in the different colors. And I found the product of each part. Then I added the products. Adding those partial products together gave me my total sum. Let's ask another question. Here's another thing that I want you to think about. If you compare the 2 models and their products, what can you conclude about these 2 models? I want you to explain your answer. Let's think about that for a minute. All right, if you said the products are the same, great job, because that's exactly what I wanted you to find. The explanation might be that this shows that you will get the same product no matter how you break apart the model. Keep in mind, you have to have the correct addition on the factors. So what 2 add-ins will add up to your factors. So make sure your math is correct. Okay, there's one more I'm going to ask you. So let's think about this one. To find the product of 10 and 33, which is the easier computation? 10 times 33. Do I want to do, in parentheses, 10 times 11, parentheses, plus 10, parentheses, 10 times 11, parentheses, plus 10 times 11, parentheses, or parentheses, 10 times 30, parentheses, plus parentheses, 10 times 3, parentheses. And I want you to be able to explain. So think about that. Which do you think is the easier computation? How many of you selected 10 times 30 in parentheses plus 10 times 3 in parentheses? Good. I might have said that too. Here's a possible explanation. I can use the math fact 1 times 3. What I know about the multiples of 10 and multiplying any number by 10. And of course, a pattern to find 10 times 30 plus 10 times 3. Good job. Now what I'm going to do is give you some practice problems that I'd like you to put in your math journals. So please be very careful. Draw out your grids. Remember, you don't need to have grid paper. Just create the boxes. Be very, very neat. Here are your practice problems. Make sure you are drawing these in your book. Colors are optional because we want you to draw the boxes. Do not worry about the little squares inside. You're going to draw boxes that represent the size, approximate size. So enjoy, have fun, see you tomorrow.